Morning all. So what we are going to discuss about is microprocessor only. Like in previous topic we have also seen the microprocessor's main part. But today we are going just in a deep through it. Like what is a microprocessor? Like as it is written over here that it is an electronic device. And obviously it is an because it receives information in the form of signals. So, where are these signals coming from, and what are the components which are playing the main role behind sending and receiving the signals? So, these all the things which is an important fact to know about. How does the microprocessor work? So, like, see it. It is an electronic device which is designed on a single chip. Like as you all know that central processing unit, that is CPU, is a part of a computer hardware system. So out of that CPU, the microprocessor is simply we can say it is a CPU only, but it consists of only a single chip. That is, millions of transistors are involved in it, and they are like you people, we people cannot imagine how does they really work, but later on we'll get a brief knowledge about it, like we'll come to know about it. So here it is written, it is an electronic device which is designed on a single chip. It reads instruction from a storage device, that is, it reads a binary instruction. So here binary instructions are nothing but the machine learning code which the computer system understands. That assembly language is not understandable by the computer, so we convert it into the machine language that the machine will automatically read and interpret it and will obviously provide the result out of it. So, in binary instructions from a storage device called memory, it accepts the data, binary data especially, as input and processes data, and this processing part is done inside the various components of the microprocessor, which we'll see how in the organization as well as the architecture of the microprocessor. So, like, provides the resultant output. So this have we have seen it already that it consists of the millions of transistors connected by wire. So now how are these microprocessor classified on the basis of size of data bus? So what is data? One thing which that will come in or strike into your mind, that what is this data? Is it in different from the, oh, I'm very sorry that you people will not have a very clear knowledge about the data and the address. So, I'll firstly tell about the data. So, data is nothing but the information which is fed by the user into the computer's memory. That is, whatever you will type, that will be considered as the data. So, like, firstly we'll see the classification, then it is on the basis of the application, on the basis of the architecture. So on the basis of architecture we'll mainly focus on it. So there are of two types, RISC and CISC processor. So RISC processors are mainly used and they are very expensive as well as, so they are used in Apple devices, and we cannot compare it to the Android device, as their processing speed cannot be compared to the Apple's processing speed. So, like CISC processor, so their processing speed is low as compared to RISC processor, what it is written over here. So, coming to the next part, RISC architecture, here it is written. So, what is the hardware that is involved in the RISC architecture? Like instruction cache data will both of them will go to the main memory, that is the primary memory first of all, and this data path and data cache you'll later on study what it is, but just for referring purpose you can understand, you can just have a clear view that it is nothing but something which is stored inside the primary memory, which is not very necessary to know use, or which is not very important, so which is kept aside. So how is the organization of microprocessor done? So now the system has been, how is the means organization will describe what is the main purpose of microprocessor inside the computer hardware system. So it carries address bus, data bus, and control bus. So what is this? These three we can see just now. So address bus is unidirectional. Why is the address bus unidirectional? First of all, the main point is what is address bus. So address bus is each and every data which you feed into the system, that is carried in the form of address which is given. Firstly, like you are feeding A, B, C one by one. So A will be at location number 1 and B will be at location number 2. So these are the address, that is we can briefly say that they are nothing but the location point, the memory area where they are located, where they are located inside the processor. So address bus is unidirectional, you can see it over here. Why is it so? Because it takes the information from the peripheral device, that is it can carry the address only. Whatever the output will come, it will not give back, because address we cannot transfer it back now. Address is for the use of the computer only, to take each and every data from at its respective, no, with the help of its respective address, and to make it the processing done. So this is a data bus. The data bus work. Why is it bidirectional? Because the microprocessor, with the help of microprocessor, the input will be fed inside the computer system, as well as what the resultant output you will see in the front of printer, like, or any, like if you will connect the what you can spectroscope or any other electronic device which will plot you the graph, which will show you the graph of any AC signal or DC signal. So that any output device on which the output can be seen, so that is done by the data bus. So that is why it is bidirectional, because it can take the data as well as give out the data to the give out or show the information, like arithmetic work has to be done, then we are feeding 1 plus 1 into the system, then the processing has to be done and displayed also on the monitor screen. So the first of all it will take the data, that is also done by the address bus with the help of its particular address, and given out in the form of display on the main computer screen. So that is, it is bidirectional. I think you people are now fully aware about what is the meaning of unidirectional and bidirectional. So let us go to the control bus. There is a one more bus, that is through which the command or the working is carried out. Like when the control bus will not order whether to read or write into the system, then these two buses don't have the right to take information and write it on the data bus. So uh, these are the description which is written over here that I have explained you. Like address bus takes the data from the input and transfers the data. They are transferred in binary format in the form of machine code, that which the computers understand. So this machine code is very important when you are talking about computer system, because if machine code will not be given, that is if the language will not be converted in form of the machine, then the computer cannot perform its work. Not only the computer, like you are having the smartphones or calculators, there also they have been converted in the form of 0 and 1, and then the data has been processed. So these things I've explained you, and I don't think that I have to repeat it again. Like data bus, it carries data within the microprocessor, and the memory input or peripheral devices, like the output devices like printer, scanner. So we shall move it further. Like this also I've explained you. So like 8085 microprocessor is the type of microprocessor. It is a special kind of microprocessor, we can say, which is having the 16-bit address bus. Because when like I've told you in previous ways that what is address, it's especially the location which the through which the data is fed into inside the computer's memory. So an 8 bits memory address is there through which the data is fed, not the address but the data, which is which is bidirectional, which we have seen just now, that data address is bidirectional. So through 5-volt power supply. So what are the main features of 8085 microprocessor? We shall see in the later classes in the next. Okay, I think that this much is enough for today.